Okay, what we're going to do here is bore the holes in the door for the hinges. In this application, we're going to be using some hidden hinges. They get a cup bored in the edge of the door for this part of the hinge to set down in, and then this is flush with the door. And they're hidden, and these are spring loaded, and they're adjustable 3 ways, and yada yada. Anyway, when you use these, of course, there are all different kinds of these things, and you get some cheap ones that's non-adjustable, and then you can get some really expensive ones that can be adjusted any number of ways. So anyhow, these here's 3-way adjustable hinges here, and I'm going to cut this cup in the door on my drill press. I've got a table on my drill press and a fence, and I've already got it set up here, so I'm just going to put 2 in this door, and I'll spin around here and let you see that. All right, what we got here, of course, this is my table. This is a woodpecker table and fence system, and I really like it. It's really convenient. When I mounted my table on my drill press, I took extra precaution to make sure that I got it perfectly centered, so my rulers on this thing works out right. So each time I come back to repeat a task, well, I know where to set it here on my guide. I can come back, I can drill something and move it and do something else, and later on I come back and I need to repeat it, I can do that. I can set it right back up just like I had it. It's convenient. And then these stops, they're great. Come in here and set one stop, come in here and you can bore a hinge and then flip it out of the way, slip the door over, set the other stop and bring it back. You've got them exactly the same from each side, and every one of them's the same. When you're doing a big kitchen set, and you know, you've got 40 doors that's all the same height. Well, this is great because you can put each one of them in exactly the same spot. So that works out great. So we'll go ahead and put these holes in here. Now, like I said, I already had the fence set, and I've got the stop set for the cutter so it don't bore too deep. I went ahead and set that one already, so we'll cut this one. There's that one. We'll flip this stop up and run this thing on out here. Just stop down, bring it right back against it. Now we're ready to bore the other hole. Let's see. Now we've got the holes bored, and we'll be ready to put the hinge in it. Excuse me. Go in just like that there. We'll take a square it up, pre-drill for the screw holes, for the screws, and put them in there, and we'll be ready to mount that door on the cabinet. Okay, I said a while ago when we was boring the hinges that we square them up and screw them to the door. Well, it's pretty important that you get these hinges square, and as simple as that seems like it be, sometimes it's not hardly that simple. unless you know a little trick. And of course, I've never seen anybody do it like this. It's something I come up with, and I thought, well, hey, this will work. You gotta make sure that your door is square. I don't know where other people do it or not, but sometimes, especially if I have a pretty good sized door, sometimes I'll make it just a little oversized. Just a little bit, maybe an 1/8 of an inch or something, when I calculate it out and make it oversized. So that way, once I get it made and it gets, the glue's dry and it's all finished and done, I can trim it and make sure that it's perfectly square. Because it's easy to get it racked a little bit and it'll be out. It won't be out much. If it's out much on a cope and stick door, you'll see cracks where the pieces go together, but it can be out a little bit. So if you want your door perfect, make it just a little oversized, and then use your table saw sled and cut it back down square. But anyhow, I want to show you just right quickly here how I square up these hinges on the doors. Like I said, there's probably untold numbers of ways to do it. This is just how I figured out to do it, and it works great for me. Just take your square, come in here on that door, and then bring it right up against the hinge base right here. Now we've got the hinge square with the door. And like I said, we already squared up the door. Now we come in here and bore a hole. We'll put a couple screws in. That's how easily that works. Get another hinge. We'll do the same thing on the other end. There's how we put a hinge in the door. Okay, we got the doors made, and hinges on one of them. I'm going to get the other door here, and we're going to sand the edges of it here on the oscillating edge sander. This this is an extremely useful machine. I use it for all kinds of projects. I originally bought it for what I'm getting ready to do right here, which is sand the edges of the doors after we got them, excuse me, after we got them squared up. And I'll take them to the table saw and square them up on a sled, make sure everything's good and square. And going to bring it back over here, and we're just going to sand it just a little bit, just enough to take the saw blade marks out of the edge of the door. Using a really sharp fluid bit to cut those with anyway, and there's not very many marks left. Fluid saw blade. Let me get that corrected there. Anyway, there's not very many marks left after you cut it with that, but there's enough that you can see, especially after you put the stain on it in the finish. You can see some saw marks. So I'm going to get it, come over here to the sander and sand those marks out of it, and we'll be ready to put the hinges on it and put it on the cabinet. Get the door and we'll take off. Certainly wouldn't want to take a whole lot off using this method, because you'd get it out of square. It'd be really easy to get one side more than the other and get it sanded off and sand it out of square. But all we're doing is just lightly touching it. in. I don't know if we can see where we can see it, if it's even in focus or not. Probably not. Anyway, that's just sanded up there, and it's just as smooth as it can be. And I know you could take a hand sander and do it, and before I got my edge sander, I'd put it in the vise over there, and I'd take a cabinet scraper and I'd scrape the edges of them, and that does a good job. I use a cabinet scraper a lot for a power tool man. I'd much prefer to scrape rather than sand, but anyhow, this keeps it much more consistent, and it's much faster, and it's good and slick and good and straight and smooth when you get done. So anyway, that's the whole purpose about the edge sander, and it does a super job at it. Okay, well, we're getting there. We're awfully close. Awfully close now. Got the doors finished and got them put on there. Of course, they're just temporarily mounted. I'll take the doors back off when I stain it and put the final finish on it. What I like to mount my doors and drawers and whatever I'm working on there and make sure I get them mounted up and everything fits like it should. Sometimes they can put the hardwire on. The customer's not brought me the hardwire that they want on these doors here yet, but it'll just be a couple of knobs, and so that's no problem there. But at any rate, got it on here and got the panels finished. I think they turned out really good. I think they'll be happy with them. They did get a chance to look at the feet on it, and they was tickled to death with that. They really liked the design on the feet. It was unique, and that's what they wanted. Of course, we've seen the inside of it, but I'll open up here, and this is the color it'll be. It's a golden oak. That's what it'll be on the outside. This hasn't got any clear on it either in here yet, so I've got to stain it outside and then clear it all over. But just glad to be at this point on it. It's took me longer than I'd like for it to, but I've had other projects going. I'm working on I'm working on about 3 other projects all at the same time I'm doing this one, and certainly can't do any video shooting on those projects, so I'll never get anything done. But I've enjoyed it. Enjoyed shooting this video, and I'm glad people watching it on YouTube. I'm getting hits and views of people looking at it and comments, and all the people that's commenting on it's great. It really is. Like I said, I've been doing woodworking here for a long time, but I hadn't been posting anything on the internet and that sort of thing. I mean, I'd put a few pictures on the Facebook profile and that sort of thing. And up to just recently, I didn't much have any friends except family on Facebook. I never was a big social type anyway, but nonetheless, as people come along and view the videos, and I got to talk to people, and man, it's really nice. I enjoy it tremendously. So we'll be back. I get ready to put some stain on here, and I might get a quick shot of applying a little stain, and then we're going to put some finish on it. I've initially thought I'd spray this with lacquer. I spray most of my cabinets and everything unless the customer has a preference. If they leave it up to me, I spray lacquer. I like lacquer. I know there's other things, and sometimes they're better. And I think what I'm going to put is polyurethane on this, simply because I can put it on here pretty heavy, and they're going to be with working their aquarium. They're going to be doing whatever it is you do with your aquarium, cleaning it out and taking out fish and putting in fish or whatever. Anyhow, there'll be water spilt on it. There's no question that they will. So, and I realize if done properly, you can make lacquer stand up to that. But I talked it over with them, and I think we'll just go ahead and get some good polyurethane on this thing, so it'll take the abuse of all that water and stuff on it. So anyhow, we'll get started on that in the next section. We'll get this thing finished up. Thanks for watching.